come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Yes, we are the trending topic. Your relationship profits. Brunch with the boys, we the highs. Brunch with the boys, we the highs.
Yes, sir. It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the Boys. How you guys doing?
Jeez, we good over here, bro.
Hey, it's Mr. Gent out here, and I want to give a quick shout out to our location on site right now where we're taping from. This is Cigars with a Z at Waterford Lakes. You need to come check them out. Really nice, low-key place if you want to just kind of sit down and lounge and have some conversation and smoke a stogie, man. So this is what we doing tonight.
Yo, I had a listener reach out and say, lately y'all been really in that lounge nightlife vibe. And she's like, it's Brunch with the Boys. She's like, where is the food and the pastries and whatnot? And, you know, we hear you guests. And we're going to make sure we got some pastries out here, some eye candy, some mouth-watering foods, just to, you know, let you know that we do eat well over here. I mean, if you see Des, then you can see we've never missed a meal. But
That's funny.
you know, but yeah, we gonna get on that brunch.
I mean, we did do it at Birch.
We did.
Birchwood
We gave
Coffee, man.
Yeah.
We did it up nice over there for the
The
anniversary.
people want to see the food too.
All right,
Okay.
bet.
But listen. So I want to bring up before we get into the topic, that Nia Long and Boston Celtics, the coach cheating, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of crazy that, you know, they always say don't eat where you shit or shit where you eat, but I always get sayings backwards, don't I? But what do y'all think about him cheating with another woman in the organization who I found out recently was also married?
So I think people most often cheat with folks that they spend a lot of time around, and for a lot of people, that's their place of work. So I don't think that's strange in the least bit. I think that's what most people find the person that they're going to have an extramarital affair with, or some type of, a relationship outside of their, primary relationship. As far as her being married, I think that also adds very little to it. Because at the end of the day, man, like if a person is having a relationship with another person, each of them don't owe something to the other person's significant other. I mean, you would hope that there's a level of respect that I'm not going to put, myself in a situation to have any kind of thing with your person. But I don't know, man. I think people need to take, kind of personal, accountability and responsibility, and,
I think one day we do have to get into the reasons men cheat, and I feel like we've never really dove into that topic. We've touched on it here and there.
Right.
I think one episode we're definitely gonna get into it and really keep it real with y'all. It could be ugly.
No, it is.
You know, it's
a lot
like
of hurt feelings too.
It's like seeing a woman at night when she's wearing a face mask and she, you know what I'm saying, got her hair in rollers and shit. It's ugly, but she'll like the finished product in the morning.
Right. Luxurious.
That sounds promising for sure.
Yeah. So what do you feel, Gent? Like, you don't think that this man was crazy for cheating on Nia Long? Like, I don't know if you saw the picture of the chick.
Yeah,
I sent it to you. Yeah.
I think she's prettier than Nia Long.
Prettier than Nia Long.
She is, and that's hard to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's
You think
super
she's
hard.
prettier than Nia?
She
Oh yeah, these
she
niggas
is-
tripping. I'm sorry, fans.
No,
Like,
I'm just saying,
I'ma
Nia
hold it
Long
down.
for her
Jesus thought he had
age looks amazing. Don't get
Yeah.
it twisted. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
This ain't 90s Nia Long. This 2023
This
Nia
chick
Long.
isn't super young, but
She's
I mean, she was
younger.
younger. She was
Yeah.
younger, and I'm not saying she wasn't bad in her own right, but damn,
No,
not
Nia Long got a certain,
Maybe I'm
funk in
being
my
biased.
left,
Yeah, maybe
type
I'm being
of,
biased.
feel, right? So she got that childhood feel that
Right,
we
right.
always
That's what I was
have,
saying.
right? So
Yeah.
I feel like it comes down to just anybody can get cheated on, so it's very important, ladies, that
It
and
doesn't
men,
matter, yeah.
that you handle your business. I was talking to a chick, man, who was I talking to? Anyways, and she was telling me how when she was with her baby daddy, she loved him. She ended up having a daughter with him, actually, obviously, but she said the dick was little and the sex wasn't that great. Like it took forever for her to come, and like it was, but she was about to marry him and be with him forever. And I said, damn, you were gonna marry someone you weren't sexually compatible with like that? And she was like, yeah, I mean, I probably was gonna have to cheat every once in a while, but like I liked him, I liked us as a couple. It's just that wasn't good. And we minimize, and not to make this about sex, but just to focus on the fact that if you're not getting a certain aspect, because we all get into relationships for different reasons, there's some things that are being fulfilled and some things that are not. And if you're not getting one of those things, you're going to eventually get it, especially if it's one of the base needs.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say that I think people cheat for a whole host of reasons. And listen, this will be a good poll. What is the main reason that women cheat for? Is it sexual fulfillment? Is it attention and appreciation? Right? Do more women cheat because their man can't make them come?
Give us all the options. I think that's a part
Right?
of it too. That's got to be an option.
Or do women cheat because the man that they chose to spend their life with doesn't give them the attention that they need?
Yeah.
And so I think it's the latter. I'm not saying that some women don't cheat.
I think there's a third, though. I think the third.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. That isn't an exhaustive list.
No,
What's
it
the third
isn't.
one?
I think the major next third one is that he's not pulling his proverbial weight in whatever is most important to her.
Financial,
whether it's financial, emotional, physical.
Yeah.
It might wrap all of those things together, but it's something significant. I remember you saying a long time ago that, it's 80-20, right? But the matter of fact, it really matters what is in that 20, because if the thing is the heightened important in our relationship is in that 20%, that might be a deal breaker, right? So I'm just saying, I think it flexes on what's most important to her and the gap that is void right now, and that is what may drive.
So I agree with you, but all I think you did was mention the general umbrella versus the specifics that LJ and I talked about, and Jeezy and I talked about. Because my point is, I think you're right, because I think the sex part falls into that. Yeah. I think the attention thing falls into that. Maybe a financial thing falls into that. So I don't think we're saying different things. I think you took a macro approach on it. But I mean, the bottom line, people cheat because they're not getting something that they need.
Definitely.
That's it.
It is major. It's major.
And I'm willing to bet, and we're going to save this conversation. We're not going to dig that too much into it. But I do want to transition into the topic that we do have for tonight, and that's just on sacrifice. I believe that in so many ways, we sacrifice parts of ourselves, things in our lives, in order to be in a relationship. And I want to talk about some of those sacrifices, whether you should make them or whether you shouldn't. So we're going to get right into it. I do have a list. I want to talk about sacrifice. It said, I found a quote by Linda Zart. Sometimes in life you do things you don't want to. Sometimes you sacrifice, sometimes you compromise, sometimes you let go, and sometimes you fight. It's all about deciding what's worth losing and what's worth keeping.
That's a great quote.
Man, this covers relationships in almost every way.
That's a great quote.
Because it really comes down to, what are you giving me? Is it so great, you know what I mean, that I am gaining more than I am losing? You know what I mean? So the exchange of value is that I am gaining so much more than it seems I'm losing.
And I think it's an excellent quote, just like Dee says. I think all that stuff is very situational on when you need to pull the trigger of one of those things. So, she may mention, I need to compromise. I may need to give in. I may need to give up. I might need to, be a little bit more persistent in regards to my point of view. I think it's all situational, but sacrifice is going to have to happen in any one of those actions.
Yeah. So let me ask a question. Is there a established level of sacrifice, right? That is a part of a relationship, meaning that anybody that's ever in any relationship at some point has to compromise, because that by definition is part of what qualifies a relationship. So I think we have to talk about level, because what I would say is, if we're making a general statement or a blanket statement that there is sacrifice in relationships, then case closed. We got to the crux of the issue.
Depends on where the relationship is.
But the other thing is, because I'm a believer that if you are in the right relationship, what you have to sacrifice for that relationship to run optimally should be very little.
Won't feel like much.
Right. Yep. Won't feel like much, because optimally you found a person that plugs into the puzzle piece that plugs into your puzzle. Right.
And that's what it comes down to, what the quote said, bringing such an exchange of value that you no longer feel like you're losing because you're gaining so much more than you're lost.
But D, to challenge that, if it's a puzzle fit, right, typically those puzzle pieces are very different. Like the relationships that I believe that actually do work are the ones that are not so similar. Like they have where you have a void, they have a surplus. Where you have a surplus, they have a void. Y'all are different in that capacity. So that's why y'all fit together. That's why you feed off each other. So if we're so different when it comes time for sacrifice, like there may be some significant change. It may not be so minimal based off of the differentiation.
Well, I would disagree because if you're with the right person,
That's what I'm saying.
The way that it all balances, you don't feel that sacrifice because it's like, man, I was lacking here. I'm very bad with my organization and she's very organized. So now it's like I'm getting something I never even had. So is it a sacrifice if that means now I don't get as much alone time?
Right. And
You
so
know?
I think so exactly right. So exactly what you said. It's like if you are, if you're with someone and you're not you like somebody that's catering, right? You're not necessarily the most catering person, but you like to be catered to. And you find a person that gets pleasure from giving pleasure to others. It is nothing for them to get to
Even
cater
though
to
you'll
you.
never give it to them.
Right. And they don't mind getting it because
yeah.
that's not what fills their bucket. Their bucket is seeing you happy.
This to me speaks a lot to love languages. And I think
Exactly.
we often ignore those. And what I've realized in my relationships is that when you tell someone how you want to be loved, they hear you or they say they do, but they
ain't really
tend to
listening.
love you the way that they prefer to give love, the
Or
way
what it's
they're used
easiest,
to give
yeah.
love. And maybe not always the easiest.
It is, 'cause it's
but what
comfort.
feels good to
But
them.
comfort is easy,
Yeah, well, you know, I guess, but be more specific because I think it's just the way the way they choose to give love, and that's what it comes down to. And you're not gonna ever receive it, right? If you like to give monetarily and spoil with gifts, I'm not huge on gifts. When those gifts come, I thank you. But they're not gonna hit home for me.
Right.
They're not gonna make you stand out and make me say, "Man, I
Correct.
can't live without her," because you don't give a fuck about a
I
gift.
can buy shit myself.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Right.
I think that comes down to there's things that you should be willing to sacrifice for your relationship. One of those things are your privacy. And I know this is always a touchy subject, so that's why I started there. I do think that you have to give up a certain level of privacy, but it doesn't. That does not mean that you have no privacy.
Like you have full.
It just means that you have to
access,
give.
yeah.
It means if you're in the bathroom and you have to piss, she can walk in. It doesn't necessarily mean I have all of their bank account information and whatever.
So I agree with that. I would say that I think there's levels, right? There's relational privacy, right? The privacy that's within the confines of the relationship, and then there's individual privacy, right? And I think there's a difference, right? Because here's the thing: it's almost like there's that question, like if you could have a superpower, what would it be? Oh, people say I want to read minds. No, the fuck you don't.
Yeah.
You do not want to be able to read people's minds because they will fucking disappoint you.
You changed my mind on that.
Friends you had for years will not be your friends no more. Girls you thought liked you, they didn't.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that. So I think. I lost my train of thought on that.
You sent me a TikTok this week about a whole situation where this man was so angry that his girlfriend didn't pay for his son's birthday gift, and it was like a whole situation that went viral in regards to we in a relationship. I should have full access to your funds, and we in this, we in this
so
status.
it's not her daughter.
It wasn't even
she
his son.
wanted him to pay. Yeah, he tripping.
And he was going off as if it was her responsibility.
But that is something and that's on the list. Money should be sacrificed for your relationship. You should know that when you're in a relationship, and the funny thing about this is, if it were vice versa, it would have been easier to understand. But because it was the woman, typically women have an issue with sharing. What's mine is ours, what's mine is mine. And
You think that's true?
They have that mentality. You hear women say it all the time, and they joke about it. They're joking, right? No, bitch. I know you mean it. That's why I ain't fucking with you. So money is something that you should sacrifice. And if I'm in a relationship, you know your man don't have it. He has a kid. You love him. You love the kid.
You should have paid that.
You should be able to chip in that way that if he did it, you would appreciate it, if not expect it.
Not required.
And I'm not saying that this is
yeah.
right. And we have to speak, Des, from this perspective because obviously we different type of niggas. We would have obviously bought our kid a fucking gift. We'd have never went to a hoe and said, hey, man, you think you can help a nigga? But there are men who are in relationships and that is their situation. If this woman says she loves you, money is a sacrifice that comes with a part of the relationship.
I kind of agree with him a little bit.
Can you argue that?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't have his
I didn't
own.
say every nigga did.
Yeah.
Okay, golly.
I ain't
Just
say
because
nothing.
you can't imagine, you ain't that nigga don't mean that nigga don't exist.
I think everyone should do what's going to be, the best thing for their relationship.
He giving political, and he a lawyer tonight, y'all. I think you also have to be willing to give up the need to be right. I think that's a necessary sacrifice.
Oh, that's a
I imagine,
struggle
Des,
for a
that's
lot
a
of
big
people.
struggle for you in any relationship you've been into.
You know what? Surprisingly, it's not.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm always right. I think others.
Okay. Yeah.
No, listen.
That sounds right. That's what I was
Listen,
expecting.
right?
Yeah.
Because I think others recognize it very early on.
So they don't challenge it.
Well, they do, but I think eventually they realize it's futile, right? Because
Okay.
here's
You
the thing.
Sound British now. All
Here's
of a
the
sudden.
thing. You're
You got
so
real
stupid.
royal and
You
noble out here, didn't you?
You stupid. You stupid. What I would say is this though. Yo, I use facts, right? I'm an objective person. I'm not a subjective person, right? So I'll give an example, right?
Yeah.
So this is true, and it boggles my mind, right? So my kid plays sports, right? Both my kids play sports. My son's a pretty high level athlete. My daughter's too, but he's older. There's time my son plays amazingly 90% of the time, and 10% of the time he plays some dog shit. When I get off the field, I don't go to him like, yo, oh my God, you were so great. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
it
Tell
looks
him how
like
you get
there's
better.
some room for improvement there,
that's what
buddy.
I would do.
You're looking real slack the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are parents that would be like, oh my God, but why are you focusing on the negative?
Yeah.
Why you so
The
my
mom
point,
typically says that anyways.
it's all perspective. It's
Yeah.
all perspective, man. I think I'm open to listening.
Yeah.
I always have a perspective on a lot of things, but if you can speak to me intelligently and you can have a conversation about why you feel, even if I never agree with you, I can always say, I understand why you feel that way and I can respect that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can't do that, unfortunately.
No, I think that's one of the things that you don't want to give up, that you don't want to sacrifice for your relationship, and that's your own inclination, your own disposition, and you are who you are. You feel how you feel. You move how you move, and I don't think that makes you believe you're always right, because I know you well enough to know that even though you lead with I'm always right, when a nigga can prove you otherwise,
Yeah,
you
get
take
off of
it
that,
and you humble yourself in that
Right.
way. So I think it's just about balance.
You know the situations where I see people who struggle with self-centeredness the most? The ones that have been in the streets for a long time and now they're ready to hang up their jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're so used to everything being a focal point on themselves because they were out there getting theirs, right? And they were moving and behaving as such, rightfully so. But then when it's time to hang that up, when they come back in, when they come back in from the cold, right?
To me,
Guess
self
what? They're so full of that.
That speaks to habits and old
Yeah.
habits. I
Yeah.
think when you're single and you're used to doing what you want to do,
Yeah,
and then
it's
you get in a
always like
relationship, there's gonna be resistance to moving in a different way.
Sure.
That's appealing and with your partner now.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
old grievances, you have to sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice those for your relationship. I think that a lot of people aren't together now because they can't get over old shit.
Super facts.
Super
facts.
and that we have problems in relationships, and man, who's right here, who's not right there, and we're so caught up on that. Something that could have been resolved if we could just let it go. I'm telling you, there are some people who can't let shit go.
They just can't, bro.
They can't let
just
shit go. So
cannot.
if you're one of those people, I don't believe you're going to be good for a
They
relationship.
turn into angry ghosts that haunt you.
Not angry
Yeah,
ghost.
yeah, I've seen this in a couple movies.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
You're stupid. They definitely
Their souls are twisted.
There definitely are people like that, and I think that stems from other things in their in their life, and maybe previous relationships that they have. When people feel like they can't control things, they try to take control of whatever they can. quote unquote.
A string,
Right.
a thread.
Right. Even if that's something so small as being right or being the final decision maker, it's something that they feel like they
Yeah.
can grab control of, and it's a way for them to kind of mitigate those feelings of hopelessness and lostness. You know what I mean? In my
I think
opinion.
that's why, and maybe this is a weird pivot, but it's me, so you guys expect it. I think that's why a lot of women ration sex and they switch up in that regard on how often they give it, because it's something
the
that
one
they
thing
can
that they
control. They
control,
know
yeah.
for sure, no matter,
I agree.
without a doubt, you cannot rape me, ho. So I control this pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Unless
so
your
at
name
the-
is mystical.
Wow,
But
psst, don't do that.
Don't do that. I'm so disappointed in him, by
God
the way.
damn, bro.
We'll talk
He
about it
did-
afterwards.
But he
been
did
fi-
get caught up the
it's been-
second time.
it's-
How you
no,
get?
it's not a second,
How
this
you
is
do
a
it
third.
twice?
That was
Mr.
his
Cook?
third sexual assault, by
This
the
is
way.
the third. This
So-
I thought it was the second.
Hey,
This
we
is
gotta
the
stop.
three times.
We got to stop and edit this.
Yeah.
Come
Third is a charm.
3,
Dang,
no,
Mr.
Two,
I'm not editing
on.
that.
1, 0.
But But no, I think women use sex in that way to control a situation. So when you mentioned control and taking one thing that you do, I think that's why a lot of relationships, a lot of men deal with the lack of pussy. It's just control.
The worst part is if people could actually sacrifice this aspect that you're talking about right here, man, it could save so many dang relationships. It's not even funny. I mean, they're in this neutral zone trying to make a decision, and if you continue doing the same shit, where else do you think you're gonna land? What side of the fence you gonna land on?
Yeah. No, there's some women, and shout out to those women, and we're gonna move on from here, but there are some women that even when they're mad, they'll let it be known that the pussy is ready and available. Like, hey, I know we're arguing, we're not in a good place, like, but if you want to have sex, if you need to get that frustration out, like, I'm here for you. Like, can you hate her? I don't know what you were arguing about, but I feel like you'll find your way back.
Yeah, that don't really work on me.
It doesn't?
Nah, man, because first of all, if she's doing that, it's already been my pussy. So you don't offer me nothing I haven't had.
Well, you knew that.
Right. The second thing is, I'm not as much of a sapiosexual as Jen is, but my thing is, I know it's just selfishly, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm about to bring you pleasure.
Yeah.
And you on my fucking nerves right now. So I don't. Why would I want to bring you these O's you about to get?
Though, and you right, because women love aggressive sex. I can't tell you how many women I've met. Like, he was fucking me all soft and shit. Like, women want to be fucked. So if you're mad, you fucking that shit vigorously in ways that you probably don't fuck it on a Tuesday. So in a way, she's not really losing. She's like, okay, don't threaten me with a good time, better dick. I mean, I'll take it.
Please believe she's not being altruistic when she says that. That is self-serving as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Because for all the niggas that can't fuck, they're not hearing that.
Yeah.
She's just mad and she's like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you never heard that, fellas,
I want to say this too for the next one. And this I really mean for the women more than anything, ladies. Don't take this personal, but y'all got to get rid of your old attitudes. You're not sacrificing those for your relationship. You're bringing your old attitude into your new relationship, and you're making that nigga deal with it, and you're telling him he got to fix it, and another nigga did it, and it's not fair. And it's why he's not staying. It's why you can't get him to do right. You still moving in the past, and it's affecting your present, and it will definitely affect your future. You know what I mean? The rest in bitch face too. Stop that shit, ladies.
I mean,
I like that though.
You do?
Because you got to fight through it, and a lot of niggas gave up early.
You love a challenge.
I feel you on that. In fact, I find myself attracted to that too. But, bruh, it's a weird energy. You know what I mean?
It is. Listen, but it has to be an RBF only. Like once I work and I find a cheat code and I break through, now you got to give me you.
Yeah.
I need the real you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I feel
it's gonna hurt her though.
I feel
it's gonna hurt her.
You stupid.
They'll be like, oh, then I changed for you. Now you moving like that. You like that? Yep, that's because you changed. That's so you let me in. Now that you let me in, I'm out.
Oh no!
Shut up. That's the real right there. There are things that you should not sacrifice for your relationship. One of those things are your goals and your aspirations. And the thing I want to say about that is, not sacrificing them will make your woman more attracted to you. Women love a man that has his own thing going on. Isn't easily swayed and persuaded, you know what I mean, away from his goals, especially for sex or anything trivial like that. So
I agree. Why do it to yourself? Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna be angry. You are going to be resentful if you have to sacrifice, in all honesty, your aspirations, your dreams, your goals. Yeah. At the end of the day, why do it? And then after that, because you're gonna end up blaming him at the end of the day, saying, you know what?
Yeah.
I did this for you. I did that.
That's true.
I did this. I did that. And look at you now. And I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that energy.
Yeah. So I know I'm probably going a bit of a tangent, but I hate that. I hate people that do things in relationships for the good of the person they're in the relationship with, and then want to keep fucking tabs.
Yeah.
I don't like that, because here's the thing. when I do things for people in relationships, I never keep tabs.
Yeah.
I don't have a fucking tally book that I write it down in so I can bring it back up to you 2 months later when we fight, because it doesn't matter if we fight 2 months later or 2 weeks later. When I did it for you, I wanted to do it for you and I wanted you to enjoy it.
I agree.
So I'm not going to subsequently throw that in your face, because that's not a punishment. That's some shit I did because I wanted to. So I hate, and my response to that always is, then nobody asked you to do that shit.
Anyways, yeah.
And if that's what you're doing, then fuck it. Go do it for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm a bit aggressive in my defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As always.
Standard protocol.
But like that blows my fucking mind. And that's an immediate red flag to me that this is somebody I can take seriously because they're selfish. You know?
I agree. Or they're doing good deeds selfishly. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I think the same goes for your interests and your hobbies. I smoke, and I'll keep it real. I don't know that it would be wise for me to get with a chick and be like, hey, because I had a chick, man, she was bad. Oh my God, red bone, fat booty.
Really?
This was,
it wasn't that fat. It wasn't that fat though.
Yeah, this was at FAM. This was when I was probably maybe sophomore year, and she was just graduated from Florida State.
Was
had
it
her
heavy?
life together.
It was heavy?
Heavy.
Really?
Man, I know her name, but I ain't gonna do her like that.
Could you put your fingers under there and let it rest?
Yeah, and she done did it, man. Man, listen, we
I'm
move
sorry.
on. But boy, you almost made me lose my train of thought.
You know that booty when you can put the booty on and the booty rests on top of your finger.
Yeah,
You can do this and lift it up.
Yeah. I know exactly what you. And it was jiggly and
It's soft. No muscle, ladies. I know the new thing. I'm sorry to interrupt
Stop
you, but I need to
squats.
say that. Yeah, man. I don't like that, man. I don't like
You
that.
don't want that firm
Don't get
ass,
your
huh?
butt. Don't want your butt in your thighs. Maybe white dudes. I think white dudes like that.
Yeah, I do
But
like a jiggly ass.
I want it soft.
Yeah.
A few
Yeah.
dimples make me like you even more.
Oh,
Seriously.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Seriously. I don't really want that hard ass.
Who does?
Yeah, some niggas like that shit.
They
Come
like,
on.
Yeah, there's people that like that. Like,
You know who don't want it?
Niggas
Niggas that have fucked a track star before.
Yeah.
Ask me to fuck the girl that run track.
Yeah.
He don't.
They have them slim bodies. All right, so but my point of the matter was once we were back in Miami and she came to check on me because again she had graduated and she was like, you'd be the perfect man if you just wouldn't smoke trees.
Damn, boy.
And I
That
told
hurt
her-
me.
And your life crumbled?
No, my life
Your
didn't
life crumbled
crumble.
right
I looked at her and I was like, girl, I'm the perfect man and I do smoke trees. You know what I'm saying? You came here to me. Nigga, like, stop that shit. You can't sacrifice things that
are important
matter to you.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this isn't like my kids. Obviously, I didn't have kids at the time, but my point of the matter is it wasn't like out smoking was the best thing I had going on. My point is
part of
it
your
was
life.
a part of
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
and it wasn't something that was ever affecting me negatively.
I want to ask you a question. In that situation, I guess it's a two-part question, but to the same point. Do you feel an obligation, and if you don't, a desire to try to educate? Because I'm a firm believer in this. I'm a firm believer that people that don't like marijuana or like being around marijuana, it's because of some like don't say no to drugs shit.
Yeah,
just say no
negative
to drugs in the 80s.
connotation, undoubtedly.
Because a lot of people smoke because I don't consider weed a drug, smoke marijuana really early. They don't know how to control it or manage it. They're immature emotionally and physically to be able to handle
Yeah.
it. But dog, if people knew how many people they work with every day that smoke a fucking joint and have a beer every
or eat
single
an
night,
edible,
Yes.
or
And
hit
go
a
to
vape
bed.
pen, like
And go
that's
to
a
bed.
normal thing.
there's
Yeah.
no age or race or gender associated with marijuana
Yeah.
consumption, and I think it gets a bad rap. But
It
my
does.
point, my question to you is because we're talking about relationships and
She
things like
viewed
that.
it as bad.
Right, but my question is, if you like the girl enough, do you feel like I'm gonna try to get her to see my point, or are you like, fucking, that's not my job to get you to?
You definitely defend yourself, so to speak. By that, I told her where I stand on it, and that was smoking trees will never stop me from doing anything that I was already gonna do. I'm on a path to succeed in whatever way I decide, and it's not gonna be because of weed, and weed is not gonna be the reason I don't do it.
Right.
So if you don't see that, then that's cool with you. You got to keep it pushing. And I know I don't have any regrets behind that decision because one thing I always say, and I think you don't really learn this until you get older, but you're not supposed to be for everybody.
Right. If you are, you ain't for yourself.
Come on, man. You have to be you and know that you're gonna take L's, and they're not really L's, nigga. They're saving you time.
It's a vet now process.
Yeah. They're low key wins. You know what I mean? So you just got to be you and know everything will work itself out. You feel me?
One situation where I know that men sacrifice ballers. Like as we age and we start to get hurt sometimes, and you go home and your significant other talking about, there you go again, you hurt again. I don't know why your old ass is still playing.
all the hooping,
all that like you are too old for this. And then every time you get hurt, you don't even want to go home. You know what I'm saying? You want to ice up and you want to ice up and go.
You never want to stop
because they want to continue to nag about it to a point where you
so
just
you
want to
don't
give
go
it up.
and you stay home with their ass.
Home with them.
And what are you doing? Not a motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
That's just shit. And they be like, let's stay home. We ain't got shit
That
planned.
just made no sense.
They want you to get tender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow. You definitely don't give up your friends or your family for your relationship. Those are sacrifices that you shouldn't have to make. Honestly, I can't imagine getting with a chick and saying, hey, man, you want me to stop hanging with my homeboy because of you? I don't think you move that way.
I'm going to say two things because I think you said two different groups. You said friends and family. I will tell you, I have friends of mine and people in my life that are very, very good people who are in relationships with people that maybe their family or parents did not agree that they should be in relationships with. And accordingly, they have been given ultimatums or said, you're not going to be treated the same. And those individuals have made, so this is the caveat to your statement, which I agree with for the most part, but those people have made a decision not to have their family in their lives because they know the beliefs that they hold, and it doesn't kind of jive with how they live their lives.
How good is that pussy? That you would say, I'm not talking to my mom
You're
no
so
more.
stupid.
No, seriously though. Seriously, like, man, fuck you, mom. I don't care that you raised me for 20 years because I was a late bloomer and I ain't leave the house till 20. This new pussy is what's gonna keep me. You know what I mean?
But I think you're so funny because you're gonna take it from that perspective. But I don't think it's about that. I think it's a fundamental belief. Listen, I got a homeboy, and I'm not gonna stand too long in this, but I got a homeboy I went to law school with who is from Texas. He grew up with his mother, his father, and his two brothers. Keep this in mind. His mom was a school teacher. By all accounts, he told me, wonderful mom, very nice lady. His dad was in the KKK, and his two brothers are skinheads.
Yeah.
And this is a white dude, and he married to a Trini girl.
Yeah.
So my point is this. I think for him, he doesn't interact with his family anymore.
Yeah.
He loves his mom.
Get his wife killed.
Right, you're so stupid. But he loves his mom.
Yeah.
He said his dad was a good dad to him.
Yeah.
His brothers were good brothers, but they hold beliefs that do not jive with him, and so he doesn't interact with them.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Is definitely different. I agree.
But I think there's a lot of relationships nowadays, non-traditional relationships, male, black, white, everything else, and a lot of parents, old school people,
polygamous to where your
Poly,
parent
all that
obviously
shit.
wouldn't agree with that. I agree.
It's a lot.
There are
it's
even
a lot of
parents
views out there,
and we have a saved and sanctified mother that isn't okay with you having premarital sex. So you having a girlfriend is like, I'm not dealing with it.
You remember when she gave us the True Love Waits ring?
Yeah. The lie that we told in front of God and the family.
I think I did that too.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you ever put that ring on? I never put that ring on, dog.
I didn't either.
I remember that. Oh man, y'all did that too.
It wasn't even the ring. When they made us say the oath, we all afterwards we were all like, "Hey, I didn't say that." Just so you know, I didn't lie to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
I think I blocked that memory out.
No,
I remember that.
But technically, if you don't say the oath,
I
you didn't
remember
really
that.
lie.
I
We
remember
mumbled
that.
through it, and if you don't put the ring on, then you're not sealing the deal.
Yeah, they said put it on your left hand. I put it on my right. I believe.
remember
And it's
that.
my right pinky because I'm a pimp. Okay,
You stupid. You so stupid. Moving on.
Hey, you know the other side? How many people like just even friends, like when they're in their relationship? I knew a guy that his girl basically said, "Listen, your friends, trap stars. We're trying to do something different. If you want to be here, you got to drop that." And he actually did it.
Yeah, that's worth it though. If you know your friends ain't shit.
Yeah,
you kind of got to change how you moving because they really wasn't moving the way you wanted. If the lifestyle that they're trying to introduce you to is that enticing that you're considering it, it's because that's the way you want to live. So you're not really sacrificing your friends. You're outgrowing your friends in that case.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
As long as it's not a demand.
Yeah, it has to be a choice.
Yeah, it can't be that optimistic. Nah.
Your independence is super big. You do not want to sacrifice that in a relationship. I mentioned earlier the bank account, something like that, your business, personal project. In some cases, people might even say their cell phone. You don't really want to give up your independence to where you're dependent upon this person in every way. Like, all my finances are now intertwined with yours and I don't have money on my own. I need you to tell me how much I can spend.
Do you not
shit
think
like
that's
that.
like borderline controlling though now?
It is.
I think I think different strokes for different folks. But what I would say is everybody has to have an escape plan. So if
you turn left real quick.
My dad told me that
and
when I was going to college. My dad was like, basically, you always need to make sure that if a relationship that you're in, he didn't say it in these words, a little more blunt, but if any relationship you're in, if it doesn't go well, you need to consistently make sure that you're in a position to leave that relationship should you need to at any time.
Respect. Your dad is a real G. Hey, shout out to my dad, but you didn't teach me that, and I needed you to. Okay, but I figured it out though.
Me too.
But it would have been nice if you told me a little earlier. You know what I mean?
But and this is something that I think we need to teach all the young girls, the young women as well.
Yes, you're right. Them too.
Because a lot of women get trapped in relationships because of this.
Yeah.
And
for different reasons.
They shouldn't be involved in something
for different
like
reasons. But in most cases, though, women possess the power and the options, especially if they marry a man. So, and hell, even if they're just boyfriend and girlfriend, you put that nigga on child support, guess who's in check for the next 18 years? So it's like, in many ways, women already have that backup plan. Oh, you don't want to be with me? We'll get the court involved.
Yeah.
I'll be hearing from you.
Yeah, you're going to talk to me either way.
Real soon.
Right. Let me ask you a question, because we talk about independence, right? And so here's the situation, right? Like, and you guys tell me if you think this is fair. So a man who likes to travel, who has the funds and the ability to travel, right, does so with friends, solo-wise, gets into a relationship. Maybe his significant other doesn't have the funds and or ability to travel as leisurely as he does, but doesn't want him traveling alone. Like, for instance, I've been in relationships before where, like, and you notice we traveled as groups. I travel myself. You've taken solo trips. Like, that's something people do for peace of mind. And I might have been like, oh, I want to go to this place. Oh, you're not going there by yourself. Like, what are you talking about? I went before I knew you.
It's a huge no-no now, bro.
I've dealt with that, actually.
But let me say this, and I'm going to say this because I think we need to understand this. Any man that goes to any other country, regardless of where it is, to what you consider possibly cheat on you, is cheating on you right here at home in the United States of America.
Down the street.
So I think women need to remember that. Any man like if you think your man going away to cheat, he can cheat here.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to spend money to do that.
That's
it's
not
way
why he's
too
going.
easy. Right. He's going for other reasons, and so a lot
to get away from you.
But I think, but I've heard positions from women that make I can't argue it because I don't believe it, but to make a understandable case as to why that is. Shared experiences, things like that. What say you, gentlemen?
Yeah. That's a tough one right there.
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't think you can ever let anybody prevent you from doing something that you're doing with no ill intentions, you know? And I think most women would say don't travel alone because they think, oh, when you go, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You're going to talk to women, et cetera,
it don't matter
et cetera.
if it's in groups.
Yeah, you can go down the street.
If you're not with her in another country, that's the connotation for them.
Right.
Yeah, if you're a town over without her, you get what I'm saying? So that's my point. Like, you can't do the hand holding and the insecurity shit because it's not going to be healthy for the relationship.
And I can tell you it wasn't healthy for me. I knew in my relationships I had those situations, and you knew a boys' trip was coming up, and I got to lay plans with 3 other people. One to send the flyer, one to call me and say, hey, you knew about this? Oh no, it's about to happen right now. Man, I got the book. Oh, and you knew about it 3 months ago. Like you always trying to come up with a strategic plan to somehow either make them feel more comfortable with the idea or so that you can get the outcome that you're looking for. And I have been a person that has folded in that way just so I didn't hear the noise. Because the amount of shit a man does not to hear the noise.
Facts.
Oh my God.
We'll apologize even if we don't know what the hell we apologize.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Another thing that you don't want to give up or sacrifice for your relationship is your health, which seems pretty straightforward, but niggas do it all the time. I was watching a TikTok and they were making a mockery of it, but she was serious. He was about to go to the gym and she was about to eat some ice cream. And she was like, no, don't go work out. Stay at home and eat this ice cream on the couch. And he was like, no, but no, you can do that. I just want to get this workout. No. How are you going to do that without me? You trying to look good? Who are you trying to look good for? And it turned all the way down there, all because
he ended up staying.
He values his physical health, and she,
Did he end up staying?
Eating calories.
He did?
Did he understand? In the one I did, yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, because
understand.
niggas always give in.
Understand.
We always give in.
Most times we do.
To
Yeah.
Gigi's point, to avoid the drama.
We
Not
do.
because he was soft or because he believed her.
He lives there, and he knows he had to come back and hear that shit
No
later
doubt.
on. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, you think the gym is more important than me, which is really silly, right? Because this is him chiseling himself to look good for you.
When
you
that-
know,
when
but
them
I don't know
clothes
that
drop
women
off,
really
yeah.
look at that. And
No, they don't.
And I think it was.
I think
who said it? Was it Corey Holcomb and was it the other? Man, I forget his name. But it said something to that effect to where a woman almost seems to want, and you know what? I heard that again from, was it? I don't want to shout out to Posh wherever you are. Was it Posh who said that? But it's like it comes from both sides where you almost want your other side to kind of slack off and start looking a
That
little
was
heavier,
Posh.
fatten them up,
That was
or
Posh.
fatten her up because now she's less desirable to everyone else,
Damn,
and you're
boy.
still happy with
That
them.
is
No, that's
strategic
facts.
as fuck.
Yeah, and
Called
and-
relational sabotage.
Oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
and a lot of women, especially a woman who takes that route, right? So she puts on the weight and she gets slack. She wants you to go down that path with her. Fuck, you're looking good and she's slacking off. That's not good for her.
Right,
That's bad for
right.
business. So of course she's gonna try fry pork chops at 10:30. You know who you are. That shit ain't right.
God dang.
You know what I'm saying? So
Chuletas.
That's
You
why
know
you got
what I
to
mean?
find someone who's on your same wavelength on these
and that's
certain
difficult
things.
because you know what
Yeah.
happens is when you meet someone, you're at one level and you know what I mean? Yeah, you care about your health, but you don't.
Yeah.
And then what happened, even with all of us, we started to get more into our health as we got older.
Facts.
And now the chicks that you dealing with, maybe she was never working out, and now what that look like.
The
You know what I'm
hormones
saying?
that set in. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's hard to figure that out early. Is what I'm saying.
It is hard to figure it out, I
But,
guess. Unless they're like a complete fitness freak out the gate. Yeah.
I don't want that either. I already told you I don't like no hard asses.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want her arms to be relatively toned and her calf because don't nobody want no fat
Like
calves.
the Angela
Fat
Bassett,
calves?
Angela Bassett arms.
I don't necessarily need that.
Her arms are damn near
Yeah,
chiseled.
I just need listen.
I don't need
just
no
need
baby
I need
biceps.
the titties with stretch marks in them, and
Yes.
I need the ass
And veins.
soft and jiggly. Yeah, the veins too, and with a few dimples. If you got them, use them.
Choose them.
You know what I'm saying?
What about all of those things? Little fupa.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
nobody.
Gucci?
No
Let me
man
be
is
honest with
turning
you.
fupa away.
I'm going to give you a caveat to I agree with that. Except if you are in your 20s and you have not had a child,
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
not
deserve
accepting no
the
fupa.
Yeah, you
I'm
got to
not
have at
accepting
least
it.
one
Why?
child for the fupa.
Why? Why you got one?
So is that what we're going on? We're going on record saying fupa only equals at least one
Yeah, you
child.
got to be a parent.
One plus child.
If you're not a
equal
parent,
fupa.
fupa.
You just can't be in your 20s with no children and have a fupa.
You know what's
lazy.
crazy about the body and the physical shit though? Man, women are just off the hook, right? And I think to some extent men are, right? Because some women will say he the way he handles me, the way he makes me feel, I don't care the way he looks, like I love him. We believe you too, low key. But for the most part, women body shame men all the time. I think we've talked about this in the past, quickly, but a woman can really she doesn't really have to stay in shape. She just has to not get fat. Like you can be soft. You don't have to be toned. You don't have to work
Right,
out. You just have
right.
to eat relatively okay.
Right.
And just stay 15 to 20 pounds around what he met you. Everything can be slack underneath them jeans.
And dudes-
Everything
and
can
du-
fall out, and a nigga be happy.
Listen, if a girl only gains 20 pounds, I don't know too
Oh,
many
he
men
won.
that are mad at that.
Yeah, he won.
Nah,
He won.
not no real men.
I've never
not
heard
real
it yet.
men.
I
Not
think
real
men start to trip 40 plus.
I just don't want. Like I said, I don't want no hard surfaces,
Yeah.
no bones, no sharp corners.
Yeah.
I don't like none of that.
Sharp
I
Not the
need-
sharp corners.
Yeah, I need it soft.
Yeah.
Like when you think your ass is a little fat, that's how I like it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
When you think your boobs sag just a little too much, that's how I like
Yeah.
it. So you do you, boo boo.
I
Yeah,
agree.
keep it natural, baby.
Last but definitely not least, I think your sense of self is the most important thing not to sacrifice in your relationship.
It's a great.
Like-
Yeah.
You don't have to give up your true self to have love in your life. And I think so many people do just that. You know, they'll do anything. And especially when you kind of know someone. You ever met someone, and you know what? We're not the right people to ask, but
I say finish it.
I've met people, right? And I've met chicks, and she could instantly tell I was out of her league for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've met chicks when I was younger. You know, when I was didn't have shit, didn't have a job, didn't have a car, and when I met them, and she was attracted to me, I knew. I was like, damn, I'm that bitch out of my league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew when I was leveling up in that way. So I was willing to make any sacrifice to get that pussy. I was willing to make any sacrifice to be around her because I knew what I didn't have.
You was hitting up.
Yeah, and I think that a lot that sense of self is so easy to lose, but you can't sacrifice that because so many people do that just to get and keep someone, especially the people that they know it's gonna be almost impossible to keep. It's almost like you gotta just give up. Be like, you know what? In this way, you're not good for me. I got to move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because really, it's gonna be impossible. What you wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Oh man.
Doug, no, you're speaking facts. I think a lot of people that I've heard say that they are intoxicated by this person, they typically lose themselves in that person with the whole content.
Their identity is you now.
Yeah, everything.
What they do.
Just to make that one person happy, just to secure that one person will be by their side. And as much as you think that is the right thing to do because you're in this space, this mental romantic space, dude, the outcome of that is only treacherous.
Some people like it though, don't they? This
only treacherous.
Some people like that someone who just does whatever they say, and now we're just two of the same people right now. Everything we do together.
Yes,
we drink
baby.
our coffee the same way.
Baby.
Yeah, that's low key.
Baby.
One of those people
Yes.
are low key. One of those people is a controller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like absolute synergy in a relationship. And I say synergy, I mean like every decision, every preference, every like is the same. I don't think that's healthy. And I think differences breed interesting conversations, interesting experiences, and I think that's what makes relationships experiences.
And you grow from that.
Correct. Mm-hmm. If the other motherfucker you in a relationship with is just like you, then what the fuck is the point? Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm not learning. I'm not growing.
And
so,
in some ways, yes, because you need that compatibility, you need that connection, but not in every way.
and that's the point. Every way, right? You can have 70% of the same kind of outlook on life and same interests, and 30% of the shit you guys are completely different on. And I don't know what that mix is, and I think that mix is probably different for everyone.
Every person. Mm-hmm.
But I think that the mix is probably somewhere around there, 25 to 35% individual differences, 60, 70% shit you like together. You know what I mean? So,
But before we go, can I just give an unpopular opinion?
boom, boom, boom.
When I say it, I know I'm gonna get a bad name.
Give him the camera.
And I'm probably gonna get judged. But fuck y'all if you judge me. You niggas don't know me. So many men, ladies, sacrifice pussy to be in a relationship. And that sounds bad, right? Like, you're supposed to, we're together, it's only me, you're supposed to just want to be with me. Yes, that sounds great. But guess what he was getting before this relationship?
I'm assuming it's pussy.
He was getting lots of thank you. It's not
Quality,
about
quality too.
Quality, but quantity.
Yeah.
Now a man is sacrificing quantity
To be
allegedly, right? Really, we're supposedly because supposedly what we're doing, right, is prioritizing quality, right? We met a bitch so bad, I just want her. I just want to fuck her. But then we get in a relationship. Now she like, why? All you want to do is fuck me. Oh, you mean marrying you, giving you a house, providing you, giving you kids, and doing all that shit? That's just wanting to fuck you, right? But I digress. But my point of the matter is, so many men sacrifice pussy. So now here we are together in this relationship, and so many men are sexually unsatisfied because of this. And it's because not that the quality isn't good, it's that the quantity has diminished vastly to where it is impossible for him to be happy. So now he is making a sacrifice to be sexually unsatisfied for maybe the remainder of his life just to be in this relationship and keep you happy. Guess who's happy with once a week, bitch? Guess who's happy with twice a week? You. It ain't him.
I would argue.
Yeah, please argue.
I would argue two things. First, I would argue that quality, indeed, if you poll most men, and I don't know this, but if you poll most men and you ask them the quality of the sexual experience, whether that's with a single individual or a couple or a handful of chicks they were fucking in their 20s and 30s, but the quality and the enjoyment of sex then and rank their sexual experience and quality enjoyment from the beginning of their marriage until now. Let's say men married at least 5 or 10 years. I would argue that woman, even the woman he married that was giving him high level quality and frequent sex at the beginning, the frequency has absolutely died off.
Yeah.
And
the quality too?
I would argue the quality has for a lot because at the end of the day, She done did it 100 times.
Yeah.
She know you're not going nowhere. You gonna come get this dead body pussy.
She knows your
Not
move.
dead body.
She knows when you rub on her booty and she roll over what's
Right.
about to happen next.
Correct. It's right.
That's why I
It's-
like to choke a hole randomly. Because you got
that's
the-
not the solve, bro.
Oh, no? Sorry.
That's
but
not the solve.
versus
Keep them on their
versus-
toes. Keep them on their toes. My bad.
You remember being 23 and you went out and you met a girl and the sexual chemistry you could taste that shit, you could smell it, and you had the experience, and she wanted to impress you as much as you wanted to
Yeah.
impress her,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
Nothing feels
When's
better.
the last time you've had that
Nothing
in your
feels
marriage?
better than that.
You know what's crazy though? Why wouldn't that be the case in a long-term relationship or
It
man?
should.
Why would a woman or a man even be thinking to themselves, I have to be my best version of myself? It's harder to be with one person. You have to focus and be so desirable in so many ways to hold that attention. How many people aren't good in relationships because they get bored easily, et cetera, et cetera? Excitement is created. The attraction is
created as well.
it's sustained.
But
It's something
proximity breeds comfortability.
Yeah.
So I think that's the human condition. I think that anything that human beings are around regularly, they become lax.
And there are exceptions to this. I just want you to
Indeed.
say, because I know of many cases where I don't think every person's like that, but you are right. In
Right.
general.
It's like the snake handler that gets bit by a snake and dies. Right. He's done it 1,000 times. He's
And
done
got
it so much it's
comfortable
automatic.
just one
and
time.
1,001 times, this nigga he didn't close the shit back all the way. He uses the short handle instead of long handle, and his ass is dead.
Dead.
And so I think that's the problem. I think people get comfortable. That's the reason why, and that's why a lot of people leave. Men and women leave their relationships, obviously for different reasons, and we need to talk about that in one episode
Yeah.
about why
That's
people
what we'll
leave
get
and
in with
cheat.
cheating, yeah.
However, what I would argue is that a lot of men cheat, and it's for a sexual experience, and I
Yeah.
mean that in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah.
They're not trying to have no new fucking girlfriend. They're not trying to have
And
a
that
new.
spoke to what my homegirl told me earlier. She
Mm-hmm.
would only cheat on that nigga because the sex was so bad, but the life they built is so good.
Right.
Like, she would never sacrifice it
Correct.
for sex, but she will risk it all for some dick.
Right.
So
It's where we live
It
in.
sounds like the first thing that need to be sacrificed is comfort, because in the reality of it, there are people who get comfortable. A lot of us do, and if we sacrifice that and felt uncomfortable, this is why a lot of people stay in the boyfriend girlfriend realm.
Oh, yeah.
Because and it's not fear or a healthy fear, but it's the concept of, man, I got to stay on my game so that I can continue this trek, this journey with
I think
this
that's
man.
why men
Yeah.
stay single, and maybe even women do the same. If I don't commit fully in this way, marriage or
Yeah.
what have you, then you will always be on point
You
in
are
a
always
way
gonna
that
work.
you won't.
Mhm.
If I do get in this relationship and
facts.
now you're gonna get comfortable, and men probably
That's
play
facts.
that the best, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed,
and because you
agreed.
show them committed vibes, right? Your actions are that of a committed man. Your
This what
words
you could
are as
have.
well, et cetera, et cetera. So you're moving in a way that she can't argue that you're not giving her what she wants, but you're not going to verbally do it, because the moment that you do, she got you. And now that hoe falling back and she chilling and everything falling off and it's hitting different. You worried and wondering why he won't commit, ladies. Nigga, you have not showed him the level of consistency that makes him certain that this is how it will be.
That's the key word for the day.
This is how it will be
Consistency.
after the fact.
You got to be consistent, man. Like, men are creatures of habit, right? And this boggles my mind sometimes with women. I think men are very, very easy to figure out.
Very
right?
easy.
There are 3 or 4 main things that we need in quality and frequency,
Yeah.
right? And if you can figure out what those are and what levels we need them. Some niggas want a bitch to cook for them all the
Yeah.
time. Some want to fuck all the time. Somebody wants somebody to tell them about the day and talk to them all the fucking time. But whatever it is, and whatever levels, he needs that. When you figure out what that formula is, you got the fucking cheat code. You just got to give
one
a fuck.
thing.
Just
Give me
talk
one
to me.
thing.
What's up?
Well, give me one thing that you want in a relationship that may be weird, that may be simple, but it should be a normalized thing in yours. And think about it. I'm gonna go first. Getting head while I smoke a blunt and have a drink. Maybe and if a basketball game on, girl, oh my God.
So you
That
want an
should-
SNS?
No, but I hate that name.
A suck and smoke.
A suck and smoke. I hate that shit. But
Nah,
my
you
point
should
is,
trademark that, honestly.
But like
Deadass.
it
And
works.
make t-shirts. I gave you that. Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
I'ma
he
do
wants
a
some
little
of the profits.
something.
But my
I just
point
want
of the
some
matter
free
is,
t-shirts a year.
that should be normalized in a relation. If you're in a relationship with me, because I express it to you that I love that, and you should make that happen. I think that goes both ways. You hear what your girl says she like, you make it happen, and you make it your thing now, and that's an easy decision. But bitches love to have the information. You could get a bitch the blueprint on how to make you happy, and she'll still move differently, and that shit'll come sparingly.
All right, that's your one.
That's mine.
You ready to give it, or you want?
I don't know if it's simple, but to me, like, and I know I want this, and I know because I've had it before, and when I see it with other relationships and couples, I'm envious of that.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody go to the gym with me.
I feel you on that, bro.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, bro.
Somebody go to
work out with you.
Yeah,
period.
listen. I would even curtail my heavy workout to do something that's going to be beneficial for us both.
Absolutely.
And
Undoubtedly.
I'll get my shit on an early morning or Friday night or something.
Or not at all because you good.
Right. But I just want somebody, I'm like, yo, I'm going to head to the gym. And they don't go, okay, well, have fun. Somebody go, wait up. Why you?
Hey, no, I want to go
Let me get
too.
my shoes.
Yeah, come on.
Or we already know.
What we doing tonight?
I get home.
Yeah.
Or I get home from work and she calls me. She don't live with me or she lives with me. She goes, hey, we still working out at 6, right?
She sending you a text and like, hey, let's do this in the workout tonight.
You ready?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That would be hot.
You get a little chubby.
You right.
You get a little chubby when that happens.
You right. Only thing better than
My
that.
dick doesn't get hard, but blood go there.
Yeah.
Blood go there.
No.
Blood go there.
Only thing would be better than that for
It
me
plump up.
is a chick that hoops. A chick that hoops. That shit would.
Yeah.
That would be that would be equivalent for me.
If I still hoop when I hooped, I did want
and
that.
she was like, man, we about to go hoop. And she could, and I'm not talking
And she
about
can hold her own a little bit?
Hold her own with guys, and she on the court hooping. She hitting the open three.
And she like to post you up because y'all know what's going on.
Nigga, now you on something. That's the one-on-one at the house. That's
or
the
another
one-on-one
man
for
is
the home.
posting her up real aggressively, like you know how it
So
be.
we fight. Now we not even playing ball no more. But no, that would be
I feel
dope
you.
though. I agree.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen?
Mine's simple, man. Plan a fucking date. Like for me, because I'm
That's
such
a good one, Jen.
such a fucking planner, and I
You
like to
a
take
good
control of it.
accommodator, yeah.
Man, let me just tell you, there's nothing like taking a fucking day off on that.
Yeah.
And someone said, you know what, you've done
Because
that
men
enough.
typically are supposed to, or
I got you,
Yeah,
baby.
I
This is
agree.
what we doing. Just meet me here at this time. Comfortable shoes, whatever, and whatever that activity is, or whatever it isn't, man, that speaks volumes to my soul.
I get that for you because that's you. For anybody, you guys obviously don't know Jen like we do, but Jen is even when we hang out, if we're gonna do something, he'll be like, hey, show up. You know what I'm saying? This make sure you wearing this, man. We finna do this. Show up. Be here this time.
And D always tell me, do I gotta wear pants?
No, y'all know I'm casual.
But
Y'all know,
though,
go do
seriously
that.
though, ladies, ask your men these questions. Listen to his answer, and then normalize this behavior. Don't wait. Don't make it a birthday or a here and there thing. Normalize it, and it will do wonders for your relationship because he's gonna appreciate the shit out of it. Because something that's so small is super big in his head, and to make that a normal thing instead of a fantasy, that nigga ain't going nowhere.
Real talk.
You know.
Final thoughts.
That's it for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice your body in the bedroom too, ladies.
Hey, for me, it's consistency. I think that's something that came up. Gigi hit that word a couple times today, Ginger as well. I think that's a huge factor in relationships. I think it's a omnipresent factor in successful relationships.
Yeah.
And so if you want to start anywhere, right, because relationships are so intricate, right, and comprehensive.
Yeah.
But if you can work on being consistently good, men and women, consistently good, or at least paying attention to the things that are important to your significant other, I think you're well on your way.
Yeah, I mean, I think my part is like if it's all right to sacrifice something for a better outcome, and no different.
Don't take no L's though.
No. Let's, for example, like if you smoking Marlboro Lights pack a day and shit, and you sacrifice that shit, you live longer.
Don't even do that.
You know what I'm saying?
We out here.
I get it. I get it. It's a good way.
if you love bunt cakes, and you know we all love a little
Got
bunt
4
cakes,
of them in the car.
But you
Pumpkin spice, baby.
You living on 3 of those each day, 7 days a week. The second you give that
Don't
up,
judge me.
guess what? Maybe you're not so plump,
Yeah.
and guess what? I don't have cholesterol issues. I don't have high blood pressure,
Facts.
so it's a better outcome. Little
Make good sacrifices.
making good sacrifices, man, is going to give you a better
Facts.
outcome, and that's all we want in every
A
relationship.
good sacrifice ain't even a sacrifice, nigga. It's a win.
No, people still feel it. Like if I gave up cigars, I'm feeling that shit. You see what I'm saying? Like they can still feel it because it may be something huge, but it's for the betterment of that relationship.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, that's
There
what
it
it is.
is.
I'm happy to
Brunch
be
with
here. I
the boys.
appreciate y'all too.
Hey, for sure.
Where can they find us, Jen?
Hey, we out here everywhere. Instagram at Brunch with Boyz, Twitter at brunch_boys with a Z. We on TikTok heavy, just at brunch with the boys. YouTube presence on fleet. Let do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. We love y'all.
Yeah, coffee and brunch. We can have our conversations over coffee and brunch. Ha.